One of the biggest mistakes that I see new school counselors make is they're letting other people, teachers, admin, even parents, tell them what they should be doing instead of building out their program on their own. I want to start this video off with some encouragement. I want you to type in the comments below, my first year is going to be amazing. You have to know and believe that your first year is going to be amazing. And the first step to doing that is positive affirmations. This video is brought to you because of the Facebook post that I saw, and it really made me think about my first year as a school counselor. If you don't build out your program yourself, other people are going to easily occupy your time and fill your schedule with things that they feel are the most important. Let me read this post to you. A teacher asked me to start a social skills group with about 6 of her students because they are a little wild in class. They have just started middle school this year, starting in the 6th grade. Instead of social skills, I would consider reframing the group to be based more on becoming acquainted with middle school. Thoughts? What topics would you cover and how would you explain why you are pulling them from class? Let me tell you why this post is problematic. This is the beginning of the school year. This seems like this teacher is having some concerns with 6 students. They're brand new to middle school and they're already reaching out to the school counselor and asking the counselor to create small groups. I would never start small groups at the very beginning of the school year. Students, staff, other people need time to adjust to being back in a new school building, especially if they're just starting middle school or even elementary or even high school. It doesn't matter what grade level. You don't start groups based on teacher recommendations. First off, you start your groups based on data. You're looking at discipline data. You're looking at other feedback, needs assessments, things like that. You don't just start groups just because a teacher asks you to do so. Before starting a small group, I would go into that classroom setting and just observe those students in their natural habitat in class. Don't let the students know why you're there or who you're observing. Be natural. Just walk around the room and make observations about what's going on in the class. See how the teacher is interacting with those students or not interacting. See what rules, procedures, and systems are set in place, and then make recommendations to that teacher one-on-one. Now, the teacher can either accept or not accept those recommendations, but I wouldn't start a small group just based on that. A lot of times, teachers are going to want you to solve their problems for you. They'll want you to create groups or classroom counseling lessons or things like that based on things that they should be doing in the classroom, such as setting procedures, expectations, and modeling those behaviors, and actually holding students accountable. Everybody wants the counselor to wave a magic wand and just wave all these behaviors away, and that's not how it works. This could even look like a teacher reaching out to you and asking you, can you do a whole classroom counseling lesson based on a specific topic, such as respect? So before you go in and say, yes, I can do those things, get a little bit more insight and information. Observe first and then go and build your program around it. But I would highly suggest that anytime you do an intervention, a lesson, a program, or an event, you do it based on data, needs assessment, and feedback to things that you have observed. Make sure that it makes sense for you, which is why I would highly encourage you at the beginning of the school year to look at your school's goals, create your own SMART goals, and then build out your program and your lessons and your and events based on those things. Don't ever let teachers dictate what your program looks like or build out your schedule for you. Otherwise, you're going to run around the school all day long, putting out little fires, and you're going to, at the end of the day, feel like you haven't accomplished anything. And especially for a brand new counselor, because you don't really know what you should be doing. But that's why you're here on this channel, for me to give you advice so you can avoid some of the mistakes that I made in the first couple years of me being a school counselor. And again, the biggest thing is, if you create a schedule for yourself, create SMART goals for yourself, and I would highly suggest maybe 2 to 3 goals, and then focus on relationship skills. Then you build out all those other things along the line with those. But you want to start off where you're not overwhelmed, because otherwise, listening to teachers, listening to admin, sometimes listening to parents, you're going to think that these are the things you should be doing, when in reality, you should be building out your program on your own based on needs and data. So you really have to learn how to tell teachers no. And sometimes that can be uncomfortable. For example, during my 2nd year as a counselor, I had a conflict with a teacher. This teacher wanted me to share confidential information about why I was meeting with a student, why I was creating this program, and all those things. And at the time, I gave her minimal details. I gave her what I felt like she needed to know. And her attitude towards me changed when I came in and did a classroom counseling lesson. She was very short with me. She was not friendly. She was very curt. And I remember specifically one time I went in and I just simply asked her for a piece of paper because I needed something to write something down with really quickly as I was leaving out of the room. And she got really sarcastic and got an attitude with me. And I don't remember exactly what she said, but I called her later on to my office and sat down to have a conversation with her, and it really did not go well. It was so bad to where I had to actually call an admin to be a mediator during the conversation. And it started off with a misunderstanding. The teacher felt like I was not giving her the information that she needed, and it just escalated to there. So what I'm telling you is that you have to learn how to set boundaries and learn how to have difficult conversations with people. And sometimes, like in the example of this Facebook post that I shared, you have to meet with a teacher and say, hey, let's go over the things that you are doing to manage these behaviors. I want to support you, but these are some of the things that I've observed when I came into your classroom. And you frame it in a way where you're not accusing them or coming in and saying you're doing X, Y, and Z wrong. You give them support, resources, and offer other solutions so that they feel successful and supported, and those students feel successful and supported. If you don't get a handle of this, teachers, admin, parents, they're going to tell you what you should be doing, and you're going to feel like you're not doing enough. Your day is going to be filled with other people telling you what to do. And as a school counselor, you are a leader. You should be creating your own program. And here's some of the tools that I use in creating my program. I use a year at a glance, I create my SMART goals, and then I build out lessons, themes, events, programs based on the Ask a Monthly Awareness Calendar. I'll put a link to this in the description below. But don't feel like you have to do all of these things all at once. Your main priority as a first-year counselor is to build relationships and find systems that work for you, not other people telling you what you should be doing. What was one thing that resonated with you from this video? I would love to hear your favorite tip mentioned in this video below. And don't forget to like this video. This is an easy way to show my channel some support so YouTube can push this out to other people. So again, like this video if you got value from it. And if you want to know more about what you should be doing during your first year, check out this video on the screen where I talk about 6 tips that you should be doing the beginning of the school year as a brand new school counselor. I want to make sure you're set up for success, so watch this video.